File item 20, Senator Pavley. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 307 by Senator Pavley, an act relating to restraining orders.
Senator Pavley.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and members. This item is back for concurrence with Assembly amendments. SB 307 is sponsored by the LA District Attorney's Office and is intended to provide increased public safety to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. The Assembly amendments are technical in nature and simply eliminate unnecessary code references in the bill. Senate Bill 307 clarifies that sentencing judges have the authority to impose a criminal protective order when a defendant is sentenced to mandatory supervision for domestic violence or serious sex offense. In California, there are more than 410 domestic abuse incidents reported every day.
Senator Pavley, please excuse me. Members, it's a little noisy. It's hard to hear Senator Pavley. Please proceed.
Yes. There are over 410 domestic abuse incidents reported every day, according to the Department of Justice. This bill has received unanimous support throughout the process. I ask for your aye vote and concurrence in Assembly amendments.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Calgione. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
McGuire, aye. Gaines. Hancock. Mendoza. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 35, no 0. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 21, Senator Block. Prepared to take up this item. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 39 by Senator Block relative to Jewish American Heritage Month.
Senator Block.
Thank you, Mr. President. SCR 39 is just back on concurrence. The only change in the Assembly was adding additional co-authors. I would appreciate your adoption of the concurrence.
Members, debate or discussion on this item. Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to affirm a yes vote and aye vote for this resolution, and just want to remind everyone of the wonderful influence that the Jewish community has had on the state of California. I want to encourage everyone to go to www.jmaw.org, which is the Jewish Museum of the American West. And I have cards, so it's JMAW, like John Morlock, American Wanderer, JMAW. But just some books I have at my desk if you want to look at them. I have Pioneer Jews of Los Angeles in the 19th Century, which features Harris Newmark on the cover. I have also an edition of Western States Jewish History, interviews and articles with descendants of early pioneers of LA. I have the Jews of San Francisco and pioneer Jews of the outlying areas if you want to come and visit. I urge and I vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Members, it's still a little noisy. If you can please retire your conversations to the rear of the chamber. Members, any additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Block, would you like to close?
Again, this is merely concurrence on the Jewish American Heritage Month that this body adopted unanimously about a month ago. Concurrence only because of additional co-authors. Ask your aye vote.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Cannella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Weso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. Vidak. I. Wykowski. I. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Fuller, aye. Anderson. I. Gaines. Stone, aye. Gaines. Hancock. I. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 37, no 0. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Members, we are moving to Senate third reading, beginning with file item 25. Senator Fuller, are you prepared to take up this item? We'll pass on file. File item 26, Senator Fuller. Pass on file. File item 27, Senator Pan. Pass on file. File item 28, Senator Gaines, not at his desk. File item 29, Senator Pan. Pass on file. File item 30, Senator Morrell. Pass on file. File item 31, Senator Bates. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 70 by Senator Bates relative to Student Safety Month.
Senator Bates.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I rise today to present Senate Concurrent Resolution 70, which designates June 2015 as Student Safety Month. In California, people under 25 years of age comprise roughly 1/3 of the state's population. Our youth are among the state's greatest assets and are essential to our future prosperity. Our youth are tomorrow's entrepreneurs, educators, and community leaders. They need the education and training to participate and succeed in the global economy. And in order to do so, all California children deserve a safe and quality education, which is why I've authored SCR 70. The safety and well-being of many students, teachers, and school staff are unnecessarily jeopardized by crime and violence, such as substance abuse, gangs, vandalism, sexual violence, and absenteeism in our schools. Students should be assured of a safe learning environment free from disruption so that they are prepared to either enter into the workforce or start a successful college career. In my district in San Clemente, a high school was cleared after the threat of a bomb in March. In Carlsbad, in my district, in January, a campus closed because of a threat that was found on social media. Since then, I've worked with local law enforcement, district attorneys, school administrators, and social media organizations like Facebook to host a safety seminar in the district and discuss the issue further. In this light, SCR 70 emphasizes the importance of a safe and secure environment for our students and reaffirms the legislature's commitment to doing what it can to ensure it. Our young people are our future, and we must do what we can to ensure their safety. Are you going to speak?
Thank you, Senator Bates. Debate or discussion on this item? Senator Jackson.
The question of the author, I apologize. Does this also include the issue of sexual...
Senator Bates, would you like to take a question?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Does this also include the issue of sexual assault and bullying?
The resolution itself, yes, contains that language. Actually, excuse me, I think that would require an amendment, which I'm happy to take on its way to the Assembly.
Thank you. On my own time, Mr.
Without objection.
Thank
Senator
you. And I
Jackson.
appreciate the senator bringing up this measure, and I think it's critically important as we have done research and had committee hearings and testimony from our young college students, our young high school students, about the impacts of both bullying and sexual assault and harassment on our campuses that we recognize that this has become almost an epidemic. And so as we address the issue of violence, some of it more obvious than others, we need to take this into account. And I thank the good senator from the South somewhere that
Laguna Niguel.
Laguna Niguel.
Correct, and area south.
And areas, see, I was right there in the area south, for bringing this forward and recognizing and raising consciousness on the importance when we talk about violence on campuses. It does include things like bullying, cyberbullying, and also sexual assault and harassment. So with that, I would also urge an aye vote.
I certainly appreciate the comments from the senator from Santa Barbara and North and intend to take those amendments in the Assembly. I therefore respectfully ask for the members' vote for SCR 70.
Thank you, Senator Bates. Additional debate or discussion on this item? Is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 37, no 0. The measure passes. Okay. Moving to file. Members, moving to file item 32, Senator Nguyen. Pass on file. File item 33, Senator Pan. Not at his desk. File item 34, Senator Stone. File item 34, Senator Stone. Pass. Pass file. Members, we're moving to Assembly third reading, beginning with file item 37. Senator Pavley, are you prepared to take up this item? Pass on file. File item 38, Senator Hancock. Pass temporarily. File item 39, Senator Leno. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 87 by Assemblymember Mark Stone, an act relating to jurors.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we all recognize that the jury is the foundation of our judicial system and that the jury selection process must be unbiased and non-discriminatory to assure that we have fair trials for both the defendant and for the victims. California has prohibited peremptory challenges based on assumptions of bias with regard to race, color, nation of origin, gender, sexual orientation, to better ensure fairness in trials. This bill will update the jury code to align with other existing non-discriminatory laws in California to prohibit peremptory challenges, also to be based on the assumption of bias existing due to a person's ethnicity, age, genetic information, disability, gender identity, and gender expression. The bill has had broad bipartisan support. I ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, aye. Bell, aye. Berryhill, Block, aye. Cannella, aye. De Leon, aye. Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, aye. Glazer, aye. Hall, aye. Hancock, aye. Hernandez, aye. Hertzberg, Hill, aye. Hueso, aye. Huff, aye. Jackson, aye. Lara, aye. Leno, aye. Leva, aye. Liu, aye. McGuire, aye. Mendoza, aye. Mitchell, aye. Monning, Morlock, aye. Morrell, Nguyen, aye. Morrell, aye. Nielsen, aye. Pan, aye. Pavley, aye. Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wachowski, aye. Wolk.
Call the
Hertzberg,
absent
aye.
members.
Allen, aye. Anderson, no. Berryhill, Fuller, Gaines, Monning, aye. Roth, aye. Runner, Stone. No. Vidak. I. Gaines, no. Wolk. Morell, I to no.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill, no. Fuller, Runner, Wolk.
Ayes 32, noes 5. The measure passes. Moving to file item 40, Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 881 by Assemblymember Cristina Garcia, an act relating to pupils.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. AB 881 expands the definition of bullying by an electronic act from the creation and transmission of a communication to the creation or transmission of a communication by means of an electronic device. Legislation approved in 2013 may have inadvertently limited the ability of school administrators to deal with cyberbullying. A principal or superintendent is unable to suspend or recommend expulsion if a student did not create the communication but took part in transmitting it to others. This bill clarified the definition and gives school officials more flexibility in dealing with cyberbullying. The bill passed the Senate Education Committee 8-0. The bill has extensive support from education groups, and I ask for your support.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the measure passes. Moving to file item 43, Senator Jackson. Pass on file. File item 56, Senator Wachowski. We'll pass temporarily. File item 81. Senator Wachowski. Pass temporarily. File item 96. Senator Pan. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 162 by Assemblymember Rodriguez, an act relating to state highways and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm pleased to present AB 162 by Assemblymember Rodriguez. AB 162 seeks to reduce the deadly number of wrong-way driving crashes that occur on our freeways. Although crashes involving wrong-way drivers are relatively infrequent, they are the deadliest type of motor vehicle accident due to their often head-on nature and high speeds of collision. Cities, states, and non-governmental organizations across the country have initiated studies to reduce wrong-way driving incidents. However, it's been 25 years since California has examined and evaluated this issue to prevent such accidents. In fact, here in the Sacramento area alone, there have been 4 wrong-way driving crashes since January, resulting in 14 fatalities. The recent string of wrong-way crashes in Sacramento and other areas across the state, including San Diego, has shown us we need answers now, not later. AB 162 would require the California Department of Transportation to update their 1989 report entitled Prevention of Wrong-Way Accidents with a preliminary report due to the legislature by December 1st of this year and a final report by July 1st, 2016. This updated report would include an evaluation of existing countermeasures and account for technological advancements and innovations that could reduce the number of wrong-way accidents and save lives. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Pan. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. I Wachowski. I Wolk. Anderson, I.
Call the absent members.
Allen. I. Gaines. I. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 38, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 38, no 0 on the measure. Members, we're going to move temporarily back to file item 79. Senator Leno. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 418 by Assembly Member 2, an act relating to tenancy.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, it was 2 years ago that I authored a bill with your support that allows for survivors of domestic violence, sexual abuse, elder abuse, as well as human trafficking to be able to terminate a residential lease early to be able to move to safer housing. The ability to leave a dangerous situation is difference between life and death in many of these situations. In fact, more than half of all sexual assaults occur where the victim lives. This bill will remove the sunset from that bill, from that now law, and also decrease, to decrease a survivor's remaining rent obligation from 30 days to 14 days. The bill has the support of the California Apartment Association, as it does the co-sponsorship, of course, the California Partnership to End Domestic Violence, Western Center on Law and Poverty, and the National Housing Law Project. This bill also has had broad bipartisan support. I ask for your aye vote.
Members, the better discussion on this item. Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I Bates. I Bell. I Berryhill. Block. I Cannella. I De Leon. I Fuller. I Gaines. I Galgiani. Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. Hertzberg. I Hill. I Hueso. I Huff. I Jackson. I Lara. I Leno. I Leva. I Liu. I McGuire. I Mendoza. I Mitchell. I Monning. I Morlock. I Morrell. Wynn. I Nielsen. I Pan. I Pavley. I Roth. I Runner. Stone. I Vidak. I Wachowski. I Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Allen. I Berryhill. I Galgiani. Hernandez. I Morrell. I Runner. Wolk.
Yes. Call the absent members.
Galgiani. Aye.
Ayes 38, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 103. Senator Galgiani. Pass on file. File item 105. Senator Vidak. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 365 by Assembly Member Christina Garcia, an act relating to family law.
Senator Vidak.
Mr. President and members, I rise today to present Assembly Bill 365, which will ensure that parents continue to have the ability to participate in child custody mediations. This bill would allow any detained or deported parent to present testimony and evidence by electronic means in court-ordered child custody mediation. Electronic means include telephone, video conferencing, or the internet, provided that their use is consistent with the due process right of all parties. AB 365 has no opposition and has received nearly unanimous support through the process. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item? Senator Hall.
No.
Your bill to pass. It's his bill.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I Bates. I Bell. I Berryhill. I Block. I Cannella. De Leon. I Fuller. I Gaines. Galgiani. I Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. I Hertzberg. I Hill. I Hueso. I Huff. Jackson. I Lara. I Leno. I Leva. I. Liu, I. McGuire, I. Mendoza, I. Mitchell, I. Monning, I. Morlock, I. Morrell, Nguyen, I. Nielsen, I. Pan, I. Pavley, I. Roth, I. Runner, Stone, I. Vidak, I. Wykowski, I. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Allen, I. Canella, I. Gaines, I. Huff, I. Morrell, I. Runner, Wolk.
Ayes 38, no zero, the measure passes. Members, we're going to move quickly back to motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Hall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, for acknowledging me at the appropriate time. Under motions and resolutions at the request of the author, please remove AB 204 O'Donnell to the inactive file.
Without objection. Members, we're going to move back to file item 38. That's Senator Hancock. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 730 by Assemblymember Quirk, an act relating to controlled substances.
Senator Hancock.
Good morning, Mr. President and members. AB 720 corrects inconsistencies in our health and safety code related to the transportation of drugs. 2 years ago, the governor signed a bill to make it clear that punishment for the transport of certain controlled substances meant transport for sale. However, the bill omitted several other controlled substances, and AB 730 adds the same clarifying language to make 3 additional code sections consistent with the will of the legislature. The bill has no opposition, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Members, the better discussion on this item. Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I oppose it. We've had this debate before. If you like people selling drugs to our children, our youth, our young adults, our dependent people who have addiction problems, you'll love this bill. So these individuals who do this, it'll be a lot harder for them to face any consequences for their acts, because now prosecutors have to go to a much higher bar to prove that they had the intent. Rather subjective. I urge a no vote.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, Anderson,
Members, hold on. I'm sorry. Senator Hancock, would you like to close?
I would. Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, as you may remember, the original bill addressed the problem that people possessing controlled substances might be charged with transportation for sale if they had a small amount personal use, which is charged differently under the law, and were merely walking down the street. In other words, if the individual was in motion, riding a bicycle, anything of that nature. The original bill, clarified that transport had to be transportation with the intent to sell. The drugs that were in that law, cocaine, heroin, and others, were passed by the legislature, which agreed that transportation meant transportation with the intent to sell. That personal use, especially under propositions, actually now requires drug treatment if it's available as an alternative to incarceration. The controlled substances that were omitted are arguably much less harmful. They include marijuana, for example, which is a regulated substance now, mushrooms, and PCBs. This is to simply make the law uniform, which, under equal protection of the laws, is probably necessary, and adds those omitted substances to the bill. It in no way decriminalizes or legalizes any drug. It continues with the intent of the legislature and the governor in signing the previous bill to differentiate between personal drug possession and possession with the intent to sell, in other words, dealers. And I would ask for your aye vote for this sensible piece of legislation that has no opposition from law enforcement whatsoever.
Thank you, Senator Hancock, for that excellent close. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Anderson? No. Bates? No. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Cannella? No. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? No. Galgiani? Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Hill? Aye. Wesso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lada? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monty? Aye. Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? Nilsson? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Runner? Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wachowski? Aye. Wolk?
Call the absent members.
Allen? Aye. Berryhill? Galgiani? Hertzberg? Aye. Wynn? No. Roth? No. Runner? Wolk?
Ayes 23, noes 13. The bill is approved. Members, moving to file item 109, Senator Hall, not at his desk.